ratchet woman I ever met in my life.
It was like one small, tiny, itsy-bitsy incident with Rye and one of Andy's friends, but it was nothing.
It's all the whole Remy and Pap situation. None of it was true.
I don't have nothing to do with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I have been open in all my relationships that I've had. All of them.
Well,
I mean, I've had 4 boyfriends online so far.
Yeah, that's why I said I love him. I love having his support, you know what I'm saying?
Since Papoose is currently holding this man captive and Pap is practically pleading for a divorce, but Remy is refusing to let him go, we need to talk about Papoose and Remy Ma. Let's face it, this is about more than just love, but things are getting so terrible that Claressa Shields is eager to enter the fray and provide her some insight. Rumors are swirling that Pap might be, indeed, while looking for the alimony purse, the same Pap who had held Remy hostage for years shielded her reputation and was the epitome of a faithful husband. Now that Pat is out here making friends and securing her bag with ease, why is the captain still acting as if she is hers, even though he has already replaced her with 2 younger women? That's precisely why. People were talking about Claressa Shields' latest birthday post on Instagram. Claressa has been publicly declaring her love for Pat and his support for her. Happy birthday, King Pap. You are very unique, and I am incredibly thankful for your life, music, devotion, and wisdom. May God continue to lavishly bless you. More years and even faster hands are in order, Poppy, for today is the day you get all of your birthday punches. Oh, it's Poppy now. She also offered him the love you too. If that wasn't a direct jab at Remy, I don't know what is, but it was a warning because Remy has already. She has been delaying this divorce for months, but she is unwilling to let go now that Pap is attracting other women's attention. Let's discuss why this is more significant than a simple split. Although the block captain first explained that Remy had moved on and didn't mind being out in public, now that Pap is doing his thing, she's turning into. The financial situation is considerably more challenging because Papoose put everything on hold for Remy, who kept her behind bars and ensured that she had a respectable job waiting for her when she was released. Knowing that Pat might come for a portion of the alimony, though, does she really want to sign those documents now that she's out here collecting her paychecks? Because let's face it, if Pat files for spousal support, Remy's finances will suffer, and Claressa Shields isn't just watching from a distance, she's willing to aid if needed. If Remy believes she can amuse other guys while keeping a ping limbo, she may have to confront Claressa first. The real question now is whether Remy is waiting because. Does she still love Pap, or is she just trying to safeguard her finances? In any case, Pap is being loved by women who genuinely care for him, and Remy may be accepting her betrayal. Let's not even discuss the block captain's precarious position, as he isn't even looking at Remy. Out here, Claressa Shields is putting her heart at risk. Not because Pat hasn't tried to escape, but rather because Remy keeps bringing up the divorce papers as if they were the last food on the planet. Pap is still legally bound to a marriage he doesn't even want. Rumor has it that Remy has been refusing to grant Pap's request for a divorce for months or perhaps years. Furthermore, we shouldn't act as though this is all new because it isn't merely conjecture. Do you recall when Remy lost his mind and revealed those texts between Pap and Claressa? The tea was burning, and it was obvious that Claressa was upset about the whole thing. She also didn't hold back, asking Pap directly why he hadn't permitted. If you can't at least sleep with me on the phone or be with me in person, then you are the one who is married. It shouldn't be a big deal to let me know that you made it home safely. She told him that he, not her, was still legally married. Sis was being honest when she said, "Now tell me that doesn't sound like a woman who's fed up." She wants her boyfriend, but she's tired, and she wants to be with him. She wasn't finished yet, but Remy felt like the side dish when she should have been the main course. And she even claimed to have audio recordings of Papa becoming hostile and accusing him of threatening to call the police on her. Of course, Papa wouldn't ignore it, but what was even more shocking was when he returned and informed them. The real question is how you go on. Let's not pretend that we didn't notice Remy's behavior around Christmas 2023. She was ridiculed by Easy the Block Captain and didn't try to hide it. In that rap fight, she essentially confessed her love for him, and she got all on it. Remy is only acting this way because she is upset that he moved on. The block commander has already replaced her with 2 younger ladies, so it makes sense to have Pap around while declaring to the public that you're in love with someone else. Why is she still clinging to Pap like a lifeline if it's so simple? Currently, it's not about. Control is crucial when it comes to love.
I'm only gonna address this shit one time. Since y'all wanna be on the front lines. Hey, yo, Remy, don't you love me? See right there, that's the punchline.
If you thought things were meant...
Papoose and Wilder Claressa Shields are out here pursuing significant couple goals, like the kind of love that makes people question how locked in their relationships are and look down on them, especially on Valentine's Day. If you thought things were already chaotic, get ready for even more chaos. Wiped out all these two had done. Not only were they enjoying pina coladas and holding hands on the beach on their romantic Hawaiian holiday, but Pap was taking care of business and Claressa was taking care of hearts. Pap launched the first Hawaii in Hawaii. Now feel free to talk about Mr. Pap. We broke records this year, and the show was wonderful, with many celebrities attending. Fest because, as you are all aware, he never stops talking about his luggage, even when he is on vacation. Instead of keeping it under wraps, he shared the details of what happened on Threads. Claressa shared the cutest little video of herself singing to him on the beach, delivering the classic line, "Just the two of us. We can make it if we try." It was a touch cheesy, but she was securing their love while he was out there securing his money, and he was making boss moves. We call those who still refuse to give up that last name haters, yet you could feel the love, and the energy was genuine and pure, and you knew that detractors were watching Claressa and Pap as they cherished their romance.
Two of us, we can make it if we try. Just the two of us.
Oh, but wait, this story just took an entirely different turn because while Papoose and Claressa Shields were out here having their most romantic tropical affair, there was supposed to be an even more significant event taking place in Hawaii. Rumor has it that Pap had been organizing this trip for some time, and it was about more than just relaxing. It was about creating things. Officially, that's what you heard. Pap reportedly wanted to complete his divorce from Remy prior to this trip in order to pop the question to Claressa on Valentine's Day, with his favorite person standing in front of him, Hawaii, the sea wind, and the breathtaking sunset. Did you notice the ring gleaming in the moonlight? Would have been a memorable moment, but guess who intervened to ruin it all? It's true, Miss Remy Maesta, that her decision to end her relationship with Papa wasn't final. Rather than letting go and moving on, she seems to have been delaying filing for divorce as if her life depended on it. Why is this happening when things aren't going as planned? She realized that letting Pap go might have been a mistake, and it doesn't help that she's been witnessing Pap show Claressa the same level of love and support that she used to receive, which is obviously having a big effect on her. Pap was once Remy's strongest ally, and now that she's dating Easy the Block Captain, she wants to be challenging. Do you remember Pap's performance for Claressa when she entered the boxing ring? Seeing him come was more than just encouragement. It was a declaration of an entirely new degree of love and commitment. He is now giving Claressa the same energy that he gave her while she was incarcerated in order to protect her name and ensure that no one forgets who she was. Wandering around for a different woman, it gave Remy a feeling.
I am a trained killer. Which, really, like, fuck boxer. I'm a trained killer. So it'd be like, they be talking about these girls, and it's like, I don't do no 30-second fights. 30 seconds? I don't know where your ass out. Listen, you give me 3 minutes with any of them girls, it's gonna be bad. 2 minutes, it's gonna be bad. That's why I'd be like, what the hell?
Champ, y'all see what's going on? It's about to get ugly.
It's about to get real ugly, and not for me.
Let's have a serious conversation about this, though. as it goes beyond a strained relationship or an ex's resentment. Rumor has it that Remy's refusal to sign the divorce papers is motivated more by money than by feelings, as it appears to be giving off the message, "What are you afraid of? Feelings." If you know how divorce law operates, you already know that this could quickly become messy because, let's face it, Pap was the one keeping things together for years. The courts consider all relevant factors when determining whether to grant a divorce, especially when there is a significant financial gap. They were confined together for 19 years, not just 11 years, and they began dating in 2004, got married in 2008, and then got divorced in a formal ceremony. The pay gap continued for 10 years after the couple's marriage, but let's go back in time because Remy's career took off after she left, while Pap continued to contribute consistently throughout the marriage. Pap stayed by Remy's side during her 2008 prison sentence. He waited for 6 years, and when she was eventually released in 2023, it wasn't just any wedding. They got married over the phone in 2008 when she was in prison. That's dedication on a whole other level. Reminisce Mackenzie, their daughter, was born in 2018, but since that man wanted everyone to know he was riding for her, they celebrated their love with a fully broadcast wedding ceremony in 2015. For a while, it seemed like the ideal fairy tale, but now Remy will pay a heavy price for that same loyalty. She is keeping the bag instead of the marriage since she wouldn't be holding on to this if Pap had no rights. And she is waiting because Pat is requesting alimony, which she could have to pay for all the years he sacrificed for her.
Amazing, beautiful, sexy, smart, intelligent woman I ever met in my life. I love you more than anything in the world, as you know.
You want to know if I'll marry you again?
What I want to say is, will you marry me again?
He helped keep Remy afloat during her most difficult years, and now it's time to discuss who should be helping whom. Let's take a close look at Pap's case for support. The numbers don't support her, and when you start looking at the money, well, that's when things get sticky. Take a look at Remy. Remy has been putting off signing the divorce papers since she knows that Pap's financial status is completely different from Ma's, who has an estimated net worth of $4 million, and that the alimony payments will immediately begin to negatively affect her bank account. Remy has been collecting money via sponsorships and clothing lines for hip-hop and shows like Love, and she has been making a steady salary from record sales, while never being as famous on reality TV as Cardi B or Nicki Minaj. It's not everything, you see. Remy's 2006 true story-based first album is worth checking out. Despite her lack of fame, she managed to stay current, earning 4 nominations and 1 win for Best Female Hip-Hop Artist at the BET Awards. The true reason this divorce is taking so long is because she seems to be the one who would have to pay now that she has the bigger bag. Pap was there for her every step of the way as she established her brand, made sacrifices, and supported her family. Because the courts will ensure that Pap receives what is owed as soon as she releases him, and Remy does not want those monthly payments to be deducted from her account.
I want to thank God first and foremost. I've been through a lot. To everybody who think there's no such thing as second chances, I'm here to tell you that's a lot.
To be absolutely honest, she wasn't just sitting in a jail cell hoping for people to forget about her, because she was still making waves in the music industry and releasing mixtapes to maintain her reputation. But you know who? You can be sure that a lot of work was done. It wasn't simply love. Papoose worked hard to make sure those mixtapes weren't missed. He was in charge of filming, closing deals, promoting her music, and maintaining her reputation. Just think about this. Remy has a lot of money. Her career might have ended because a rapper's career can go entirely wrong in 6 years, but it went on because Pap was out here behaving like a. When she eventually came out in 2014, he was maintaining the Remy Ma brand, getting the appropriate people to listen to her mixtapes and advertising them, so she didn't have to start over since she came home to a fan base that was still waiting for her. What prompted that? Even though Remy wasn't the only one who sacrificed throughout their marriage, others are arguing that if anyone deserves alimony, it was him because Pop held it down. This is because Pop put in just as much effort to ensure she didn't return home broke. Bag when negotiating money, you can be sure that the courts will take all of that into account.
Was wanted to marry you?
After
you got sentenced, because you just knew he was, you just knew he was on it. Yeah.
Nah,
And I thought that was like a real stand-up thing to do.
he's one of a kind. I could definitely say that.
Remy wasn't just returning to the real world when she eventually left those prison gates in 2014. She was entering a whole new realm of fame, and you know who was there to ensure that her return was genuinely legendary. Papoose did more than just. They took it straight to TV to rekindle their romance. It's important to remember that this wasn't just Remy's return, and VH1's Love and Hip Hop New York was the ideal platform for them to share their story. Pap wasn't just a supporting character, he was a part of the story. The chemistry, the highs and lows, and most importantly, the fact that they weren't just hunting for Remy made those episodes profitable. Let's face it, their relationship, troubles, family life, and the way Pop supported Remy through it all pulled in fans. The way they managed their lives after being released from prison was interesting. And guess who made sure the checks continued to come in? Papoose secured spin-offs, numerous guest appearances, and a whole business based on their romance. But let's face it, it's obvious that Remy wasn't the only one who benefited from those VH1 bags. When people claimed that Pap didn't contribute to those TV checks, they must have been alluding to the fact that Pap was just as much of the star as she was and wasn't simply a supporting actor. The dude wasn't just standing next to Remy. He was there on business. Therefore, he was watching a separate show.
The great performances, it was like one small, tiny, itsy-bitsy incident with Rye and one of Angie's friends, but it was nothing.
Trying to sweep someone in the road?
It was like one little fight. Nowhere near me. Like a football field.
Papoose, guess who was there to ensure that everyone was aware of Remy Ma's 2018 fashion line, the Remy Ma collection, which was about more than simply clothing. It was about making a message. Every collection had a deeper purpose, and since Remy was so dedicated to supporting women and families impacted by incarceration, a percentage of the earnings were donated to this cause. However, let's face it, a clothing company needs genuine advertising to succeed. A good cause by itself does not. Instead of merely watching Remy's behavior, he was actively marketing the brand. He was wonderful. He was hustling and visible. And Pop, who did that? The men's wear collection ensured that it was being seen and carried out the kind of work that, to have their products seen, major corporations spend hundreds or even millions of dollars on celebrity endorsements. Remy didn't have to pay for it because Pap was already on that promotion. But keep in mind that marketers pay influencers a lot of money. Pap was more than simply a quiet supporter. He played a significant role in the background to ensure Remy's brand continued to expand, making sure the collection was the main attraction at every event, interview, and appearance, treating the brand as if it were his own. Pap's fingerprints were all over a lot of that success, so when people talk about how Remy got the bag, they should give credit where credit is due.
Miss Remy Ma, Mr. Papoose, really the hip-hop's Hollywood couple right now. Y'all need your own show. That's what everybody's...
One example of Papa's loyalty is what he did for Remy Ma's son, Jason Scott. While Remy was in prison, her teenage son was not left on his own. Instead, Papoose took over although parenting a child is a duty, Pap went above and beyond by taking care of another man's son while his wife is incarcerated, instead of just dropping in sometimes like most males do. At this point, the story takes a tragic turn. Tragedy was discovered even after it was made public, and life was expected to return to normal. Jason was cared for by his family, who gave him the stability that most children in that situation lack. Nothing Pap could do would keep the child on after Jason Scott was arrested and charged with first-degree murder in 2021 for a shooting death in Queens, New York. The case rocked the entire family, and many were left wondering what went wrong for years. The correct route, but occasionally, no matter how much love and order you provide, people still find their way to the streets. This was relevant to Jason's decisions, as well as Pap's sacrifices to keep him out of trouble while Remy was in prison. He was not just waiting for her, he was taking care of everything she had left behind. There is no way to quantify that level of commitment.
Has been arrested in connection to a in Queens that dates back to 2021. Investigators are looking into the possibility that it was a...
After all these years, that Remy Ma and Papoose finally done called it quits. That man got sent home. Like, ma'am, I sat here all this time and waited on you as a man. Because, you know, that's what women do. That's what women would wait on you. But, man, after you got sentenced, matter of fact, before you even got sentenced, men move on. And they be having about 5, 6, 7, 10 women lined up quick. But this man waited on you while you was lined up. They wouldn't let you out. And I'm talking about he got him a little thunder. Sis is young, pretty. She got her own thing going on. So it ain't like it's one of these little fans or nothing, baby. You up against something. Yeah. And you hurt. Now, you probably was the one in the relationship that was the abusive one. You probably was mental abuse. That man probably was real chill mode. You probably did him real dirty behind closed doors. And he stuck in the paint and stayed with you while you did him dirty. But now it's over with, baby. Karma is something else. Yeah, karma. Matter of fact, it ain't even karma. It's just that man know his worth and he leaving you where you stand at. Back there. Yeah, ain't no more us. Baby, take that ring off.
One clear feature of this contentious divorce is that Remy Ma's delay makes sense because, by signing those documents, she gives Pat permission to come collect the alimony and from the. Though she doesn't appear to be trying to allow it to happen, Claressa Shields is the one who is most irritated by the entire situation. Remy is eager for the next phase of their relationship rather than merely prolonging their divorce to appease sentiments from the past. Issa is enjoying herself outside. Claire's life and Pop, she doesn't allow anyone to bring her down. She knows what she wants and wants to have a future with Pop. This isn't just a fleeting romance, CLA. She makes it a point to support him, encourage him, and demonstrate to everyone that she's more than just interested in becoming the new girlfriend, all while referring to him as her king, her rock, and so on. Is dedicated to a long-term relationship with Remy, and now that she is aware of this, she is doing things differently because, should Pat marry Claressa, everything Remy had with him would be lost. And from the outside, the question now is how long Remy can play this game before it backfires, even if it seems like she is prolonging this divorce to prevent Pat from completely embracing his new life.
I love really hard, but I'm happy to, love somebody who wanna, love somebody back. You know what I'm saying? He is just such a sweetheart. And nobody tell him to tie my goddamn boot either, but he said it wasn't laced right, so he laced it right. It was so funny.
Yeah, that's why I said I love him. I love having his support, you know what I'm saying? His support is like very different from what I've had in the past, and how he speaks to me and stuff is very different. There we go. We deserve each other. But I don't know, it's not one of those things I was like, I want to keep him all to myself.
Remy won't let go, sis. Why is there a delay? Why are you taking your time to sign the divorce papers when you're out there living your life and moving on with a whole other man who, incidentally, has already replaced you? That's the only issue now, that Claressa Shields is out there trying to live life to the fullest with her papoose. However, Pat is not alone in her frustration at something not adding up. How much longer must Claressa wait before she's had enough? Why is Remy still with Pat? Because, let's face it, if she was really done with him, she would have let him go by now. Claressa is determined to love him, to support him, and to put up with all of this extra weight, but she's running out of patience. She is clinging to this dead marriage as if her life depended on it. And while some are calling her spiteful for keeping Pat from being happy because she knows he's finally found someone who truly loves him, others are staring at her and claiming that this isn't